Hello and welcome to Real Watchers Movie Club. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your hosts. Movie Club is a show where we pick a movie every week and discuss it just like a book club. On today's show, we are concluding our January month-long coverage of documentaries by checking out the supernatural true crime doc, Beware the Slenderman. Our thoughts and more coming up on Movie Club. Released in 2016, Beware the Slenderman was directed by Irene Taylor. In this horrifyingly modern fairy tale lurks an online boogeyman and two 12-year-old girls who would kill for him. The entrance to the internet quickly leads to its darkest basement. How responsible are our children for what they find there? This film has a 2.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Before we dive into our thoughts, though, we do want to issue a spoiler warning for this. We will be discussing everything that happens in the course of this documentary. Unlike a couple of these, this is a true crime thing, so the details of this case are pretty widely available. So nothing really to spoil here, but obviously have to get that warning out there. But stay tuned to the end of the show to find out what movie we're covering next week, because we're changing up the theme for February. And if you know anything about February here in the United States, you probably have an idea what we're going to do, but we'll reveal that at the end. Alrighty, Kevin. So today is the last documentary, taking a look at Beware the Slenderman, and this was your pick. Why'd you pick it?
I just saw it on HBO Max under the documentary tab, to be perfectly honest, and thought it would be an interesting watch because I know a little bit about Slenderman and stuff like that, but didn't know it was going to turn out like this. Yeah,
this is definitely not what you're expecting when it comes to, It is kind of a misleading title,
it is.
And the premise is a little weird, but we'll go ahead and kind of jump into it. So there's a real crime that happened where two high school or middle school girls became obsessed with the lore and legend of the Slenderman creepypasta character online. And then we're so infatuated with the idea that this thing is real that they dragged a friend of theirs out to the woods and stabbed her, I don't even remember, 19 times.
Yep.
All because they thought they would get in the good graces of Slenderman. Yep. And I think that this gets a little confused.
It goes to haywire, I feel like. In my review, I put that if it would have focused on the lore of Slenderman and then just had the CCTV camera of the girls getting interviewed, I think it would have been a really fantastic documentary. Maybe not fantastic, but it would have been a better documentary than what this was, because this goes too much into the lore, and it gives you too much information and then repeats that information like 3 or 4 times, I feel like, and to an extent that I was like, I've heard this before watching this documentary. Why are they bringing this up again? Kind of a situation.
Yeah, for me, it gets confused because it tries to go in so many different directions without just having a core idea of which to make a film, because there's things here that would have been good short documentaries on their own, right? And they're all just kind of slammed together. There should have been a documentary or a short documentary or whatever on the crime itself and what these two girls did to their friend, because it is infuriating and it is heartbreaking.
Yep.
What they did. Then they should have done, there is a place maybe for a YouTube video going over the history of the Slenderman character, which there already have been several, which are better than anything in this documentary. And the last thing that could have gone over that it tries to touch on is kind of people's obsession with things that they read on the internet. And I do think that there is a place to do a documentary at some point about how people just get obsessed with fandoms. You look at furries, you look at the brony community, you look at has been hotel fans, or any kind of fandom where obviously the thing that they're fans of is not inherently a bad thing. Like Slenderman's not a bad thing. It's just a creation that someone created. But how it just twists and warps into something that can be incredibly toxic or harmful. but
Yeah.
they don't dive into any depth on any of those topics.
No, it's just here's a little sprinkle of this, this, and this, and then we'll just put it all together, and hopefully it works. Was
Yeah,
kind of what I got from it, and yeah, it's just again, it's a horrible thing what happened to the victim in this, but it was just like I I felt horrible, but watching this documentary didn't make me feel even worse about it, if that makes sense. I don't wanna be too rough on that, but it was just like, "Okay, she got stabbed 19 times," but nothing really came out of it, and then they started talking about, mental health and stuff like that in this as well, about, like, schizophrenia 'cause, one of the, uh, attackers' dad is schizophrenic, and they didn't tell the daughter, and when is it the right time to tell somebody that? In situations like that, I'm like, I no offense, Duke, this does not attack anybody, but, like, I didn't really care about that because I wanted to know more about what happened with the 3 girls pretty much.
yeah, and like there is something to be said too about like the because this is from a time even like 10 years ago or whatever,
Mhm,
right? They're and I have to be careful where I tread with this because I don't mean it in a negative way. But they like the two girls and maybe the one who was stabbed. We don't hear much from her. Um, they're
who
very
who
clearly
who
okay.
survives, to
Yes,
be honest, and
which
it
hey man, all power to her, man. Holy
but
shit!
the thing is, it's like, during the whole entire time, they're like, "Yeah, and she this," and then they just go, "Oh, yeah, she's alive," and then just that's it, and it's like, "Okay, I wanna know how she's doing, though. Like, how is she coping with this? Like, give me something a little happy
Again,
about this."
skin deep. It doesn't go any deeper.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But like there is something to be said that the two perpetrators specifically are very clearly neurodivergent
Mhm,
and possibly autistic. And it's obviously from a time where they were not given proper care and the
mhm.
proper tools of which to help manage that. I do see a lot of in my own personal life and with other fandom stuff. There is a connection between taking these uh, stories and fantasies too seriously by people who are neurodivergent or they're just too engaged with it.
Yeah.
Um, and so,
Mhm.
like, there is something that should be explored there. What kind of connections there are? Again, not in a bad way. I'm not saying that, like, they did this because they're autistic or anything like that.
No,
That's not
no,
what
no,
I'm
no, no,
saying.
no, no.
But like, I think there needs that connection needs to be explored in a
Yeah.
better documentary. But I think the single worst part about this documentary is that it is so overstuffed and padded for time.
Oh, yeah. This could what this is a
Almost 2
100
hours long.
give this like a 100 an hour and 20-minute short and I or short
This
film.
could have been a 20-minute documentary
If even
about the
that.
crime.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
like it's so unnecessarily long.
Yes, it's
Why?
very honest. Yeah, because again, it wants to hit all of those creepy pasta fans and true crime fans, but it's like pick one and decide, and then go from there. But it's trying to hit too many genres. I feel like, or too many eyes. I want to say.
Yeah, it's trying to go too many different directions and it's not focused enough. And it almost feels like the person who's making it doesn't take this stuff seriously. I mean, the crime, obviously, but then like they just keep throwing in fan art of like the Slender Man and
Slenderman.
like
Oh yeah.
it's
Uh huh.
really cringy. Like, why would you use those? Like, it'd be
Hmm.
even creepy if you didn't show it.
Yeah.
Like that would have been better, I think, in my opinion. Like, obviously, you have to
Mhm.
show what he looks like at some capacity. And, like,
But
I
you
think the
have it.
post like the poster for this is fantastic.
Yeah, just have the poster in there and then not say anything or not show any Slenderman in the entire documentary. I think
Yeah,
that would have been fantastic because I mean, you and I know who the person Slenderman is,
yeah. I
so I
mean, we've
don't
all
even.
watched Markiplier and PewDiePie, and we
Oh
know
God,
we
back in
know
the
who they
good
are.
old days of YouTube, bring me
That's
back.
taking you back. Um,
But it was just like, yeah. Oh, do you remember what Slenderman looks like? Here it is in three fan arts and a video and stuff like that. And it's like that was not. It's not necessary to put it in there. You're taking away from the actual crime that happened. not making me forget about it, but it was just like I really don't care, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's 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 a rough documentary. It's honestly, I think that one of the other biggest sins about it is that it's honestly kind of boring, which is really
Mhm.
sad because this topic and this content should not be boring.
Mm-mm.
This
Mm-mm.
feels like I'm being lectured to by a middle-aged person on something that I know more about them or more about than they do,
Yeah.
even with
Do you
their
know the
research.
Yeah, it's like they're saying like, "Oh, here's what a creepy pasta is," about," and I am like, "I know what a creepy pasta is. You don't need to explain it." That's why I'm watching this documentary because I want to know more about why they did it because of Slenderman. Not this is why Slenderman is Slenderman kind of a thing.
Yeah, which I think is also a core problem too, right? Because the way they've named this is going to be something that people who are already fans of Slenderman are going to watch,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
this is not going to appeal to people who haven't seen.
No.
If this was treated more as a true crime documentary in
Mm-hmm.
title and in tone, then I think it would have been more popular, and that would have been warranted to go over like what those things are.
Yeah.
But we just, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just misguided. It's confused, and I think it's just kind of boring.
Yeah. I totally agree with you.
Alrighty, Kevin. I think we've talked enough about this, but what are your final thoughts? What's your score?
My final thoughts was this documentary was way too long, unfortunately. If they cut it up into maybe, like I said, an hour and 20, an hour documentary, I think it would have been much better. It doesn't go into the fact of why the girls are doing it for Slenderman to an extent, but it was just it didn't get me to be like, oh my gosh, I need to do my research about this crime or about this Slenderman person. It was just too mumble jumbled up into one 2 hour long documentary that was very unnecessary, with too many Slenderman references in this and creepypasta references. So I give this a 2 stars out of 5, which is 42 out of 100 for me. I totally did that backwards, but oh well.
Oh, you're good. I think that the topic at hand is heartbreaking and infuriating, but the documentary just feels really padded for time. It's kind of boring. All the pointless Slenderman footage and fan art just kind of makes it feel a little more cringy. And I just wish that the various mental health aspects would have been explored a lot further, as well as maybe a little more focus on the crime instead of the actual legacy of the character. But for
Mhm.
me, I give it the exact same score as Kevin, 42 out of
Oh,
100,
cool.
and 2 stars. I mean, it's not the best documentary in the world. I've seen far worse, but it is definitely misguided. I think is the best
Mhm.
word I can say there. But question now falls to you. What do you think of Beware the Slender Man? Make sure to go ahead and leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. But remember not to be kind of rude to anyone else because it's not that hard. You know, let's just be nice
No.
and empathetic. But next week's film is going to be our first film of February, which means we are going to be covering romance films for the entire month. And we'll be starting with my
Mhm.
pick next week, which is the classic romantic comedy film It Happened One Night, which I am so excited for Kevin to watch because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Make sure to
Nice.
watch it before next week so you're not spoiled. And thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful little things. We do have our live stream that goes live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Mhm.
Pacific Standard Time. And this show goes live every Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, make sure to keep those eyes on the screen.